But overall, the strategy from compLexity.Black was so much stronger in Game 2.
Yeah.
A lot of that has to carry over to the third match.
Well, we'll see what they end up picking and banning in this one. The Thresh removed away. Bubba Dub clearly too good on that champion. C9T gonna remove that one. I want to see if Kha'Zix gets back onto Kez. I want to see if Soraka's allowed to be picked up as well. There's a lot of important picks here that can change hands rather rapidly. So far, just still the Evelynn, said it right, the Nidalee still removed as well. The Jax permanently removed from Westeros in this series as well.
Yeah, I'm interested about the Jax being gone, since Yuzuki could play Renekton into it and be generally okay, but I can see the fear. It's one of Westeros' better champions. It enables him to really pull off his split push style of play very well.
Wow. So C9T actually, they removed the Kha'Zix.
Soraka.
And yeah, they're not allowed to grab the Soraka now. So Elise is up there for like a first pick jungle. Most supports that are important are still there. The Lulu is still up. Now, Lulu did lose last game. Maybe that makes C9T shy away.
Didn't seem too dominating, but that's because it was up against Soraka.
Sure.
A little bit, to be fair. I really wonder, because the Xin Zhao was so effective.
Yeah, it was.
As well. That's got to be Broken Shard's jungler again, after having that much of success.
Yeah, if you win with it, you got to keep trying.
I wonder if Kez would want to take that away. You don't necessarily think of it like as a first pick type of thing.
The BO3s are always unique in that there just tend to be things that just sit in a groove, and you're like, actually, this is the important pickup here.
There's metagames within the series itself.
Yes.
That you would never see in a best of one.
Exactly. You're like, actually, this is the thing that's working for them. But it's the Shyvana, the Lee Sin does come through, the LeBlanc as well for Prawley. I want to see what comes in the second rotation for C9T, though, because blindly, this looks like a way better set of picks right now for compLexity.Black. Well,
they locked in Lee Sin initially because it was banned away from Broken Shard so heavily.
Yeah.
He's very good at Lee Sin. The LeBlanc hasn't necessarily been locked in yet.
I'd be surprised not to see him do it, though.
I would be a little bit, too. However, it does put compLexity.Black back into the setup where they're not better in teamfights.
Yeah, that's true.
Lee Sin and LeBlanc are very slippery, jumpy champions. The Lulu would give them a little bit more control overall.
Yeah.
If it was mid lane. We don't know with compLexity.Black. They're one of those teams that's a wild card.
You know,
champion, guys. Come on.
You know, also a wild card here, actually, is top Lee Sin.
Yeah. Ooh.
Actually,
Westeros is always a wild card.
Yes.
Lee Sin even more so.
Yeah. Double wild.
Yeah.
Twice the cards, twice the wild. TF confirmed. So 2 flex picks for compLexity.Black right now, actually. Their lineup shows nothing except that they've got 2 very strong champions.
Yeah. Cloud9 Tempest, though, are slowly locking in what won them Game 1.
Yeah.
They
Corki
might just
still up.
Exactly the same thing, if we actually think about it. They can't get Kha'Zix again.
Yeah.
But honestly, Kez's performance on Kha'Zix in Game 1 had very little to do with their victory.
True.
I think it was mainly just the AoE damage. They never really did the whole Kha'Zix cleanup crew, amazing jungler thing. It was just the
Corki cleanup crew.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
Throw Xin Zhao in there, I think it's just as good.
Yeah, true. And honestly, I'm thinking like, so Cloud9 Eclipse did this actually, where they picked an early Shyvana and sent it jungle and got a favorable top lane matchup with Ryze. Now, again, a possible choice right here. We talked about flex picks already. It actually worked very well to have the like hyper late game scaling circle farming Shyvana who just showed up later in team fights. And it actually wreaked havoc. When there's not enough damage to kill Shyvana, she'll just remove your squishies. Something to consider. We'll see if it actually happens this one. compLexity.Black's turn to make picks. They've got 2 seconds left, and they are going to move the Lulu to support, putting Prawley on Orianna here in the mid lane with the Lucian AD carry.
Yeah, heavy shields once again. Prawley trying a different matchup to go up against Bishu's Ziggs. Not 100% sold on his Orianna play. And yeah, Cloud9 Tempest immediately just locks in everything they had, plus the Elise.
Yeah, okay, so 1 replacement champion, going to run the same comp here. And it's fun because I've seen in a lot of BO3s, actually, teams run the same comp twice in a row.
A lot of times it works.
Sometimes it does, sometimes I feel like most of the time it doesn't work.
Because the other team has an answer for it.
Yeah, if the teams are equally enough matched. Like, I've seen teams where there's like, Team A is just better and will just 2-0 anyway. That was actually the first semifinal back in the European Challenger Series. We had NIP pick the same comp twice, and they beat Reason Gaming with it. When they fought C9E, they actually run the same comp and lost it the second time they ran it. So we'll see if Cloud9 Tempest's revamped comp's going to work. Of course, compLexity.Black with a new look here, and they need
now we get to see if
jungler.
It's a jungler or top laner, exactly. I wonder what Westeros would have left. If he did top lane Lee Sin, it would actually be pretty good. Yes, that's exactly what they're doing.
There it is.
Top lane Lee Sin, with Xin Zhao because it works so well for Broken Shard in the jungle.
Yeah.
That gives them kind of the counter I think they needed. It means they can pick on Shyvana in particular.
Yeah.
It's going to be an incredibly unsafe lane for Yuzuki. However, they are still going to run into the larger problem of being inferior composition-wise in team fights. They equalize that a little bit by having the Orianna as opposed to the LeBlanc.
Yeah.
That Orianna can make plays in team fights to a level that makes it seem like you're better in team fights. But overall in the team composition, the team fights still favor Cloud9 and Tempest.
Interesting. So a hedge between sort of
They're
game
hedging
one,
their
game
bets.
two.
Much like Broken Shard hedges his bets between Q and E on Xin Zhao.
There you go.
Overall team composition is hedged.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
Shrubberies all abound here for compLexity.Black. In fact, I mean, speaking of hedging bets, just semi non sequitur, most AD carries will run like 4 to 5 armor seals, 4 to 5 health seals, and just say, it's going to be okay no matter what.
Reckless's rune page as well for AD carries is 2 attack speed quints and 1 attack damage quint.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because the numbers on the sheet is like, yeah, I get like 11 AD and 9 attack speed. Those numbers are close together. That was like his actual rationale. It was like it was splitting the difference between the two. You got some of each. It's like, okay. And the thing is, things like that actually do count. Like the way League works, like health and armor multiply each other. So if you get some of both, it's actually superior.
Yes.
AD and attack speed multiply each other. If you get some of both, that's actually superior as well. But your attack damage starts so low that 1 AD is worth more than 1 attack speed by a lot.
Early on.
Early on.
Yeah.
By end game, I mean, there's all these weird multipliers kind of going into this one. Like attack speed doesn't affect most abilities unless you're Yasuo or like Graves' E, but attack damage always does.
Yeah. And you know what else we have? Game 3.
Game 3.
The winner of this game makes it to the promotion tournament.
Exactly, and they're going to face the winner of the BO3 after this one, actually, Curse Academy versus LMQ in the finals. The loser's going to have to fight the loser of that match for the final LCS promotion tournament spot. We might still see both teams, but it depends how the series goes. We will see at least one, but don't know what's going to happen with this one. So compLexity.Black on the red side, making their way around the map.
Welcome to Summoner's
I gotta say, this does not look like a 2-on-1 mid lane type composition.
No.
Every once in a while you see that though, and I find them very interesting.
Yeah, I do too. But a Ziggs or an Orianna, they're actually going to do really good against 2 people. Really well.
Yes.
I should say.
Well, I mean, they could be a force for good. If you consider their team the good guys. I'm sure their team believes it.
They do really evil in the mid lane.
Yes, they do.
What are you talking about?
Zed does.
Yeah.
Zed always does evil in the mid lane.
30 seconds.
Cannon's a force for good. I feel like Cannon's like lawful good. I want to see him come back.
Oh dear.
Where's Season 2 TSM?
Where's League of Legends champion alignment chart, please?
Let's go, Internet. I want to see this.
Chaotic good. Lawful evil.
You know what
Level
they
1
say.
invades are,
Karma
I'd say
always catches up to
they're
you.
like chaotic evil.
You know what
Level 1
they say.
invades with 5 people
Karma
right now.
always
Without
catches
wards,
up
no
to you.
CV, just go.
Yeah.
Face check all the brushes.
At this point, there's a very defensive formation from compLexity.Black. They still worrying about what happened to them in Game 1. They're not going to be doing any 4-man blind checks.
No.
Not again.
Well, Lee Sin could Q. That'd be a blind check.
Yeah, 1-man blind check.
Yeah.
Safety.
Just pull a double lift. He's going to back out right there. Looks like C9T is going to invade toward the blue buff, putting their dual lane to the bottom lane, which is actually going to make a 2-on-1 for compLexity.Black here. 2-on-1 as well for Cloud9 Tempest.
So I wonder if compLexity.Black did this last game a little bit too, where they then just ran up and started sharing. I think Westrice and Broken Shard, they're just going to buddy up once again.
Yep.
Take those 3 jungle camps and then rotate. But actually, a nice little move here by Bubadub to get some damage down on a Bishu.
He's already actually burned all his stacks, so 15 gold going into support right there. Cash money, probably opening up with the shield as well.
Also, he doesn't really care. Robert X. Lee is going to be pushing that lane anyway. And they're going to actually do a double buff take, double share for Broken Shard and Westrice. They'll hit level 2 off of that. So a modified buddy system to make sure they don't lose big buffs either.
And there's a fun metagame around this as well. Because they're buddy systeming, like the AD carry doesn't have to zone anyone. Like it's not like you need the support to push Yazuki out of the lane or Westrice out of the lane. So just the AD carry alone is like, well, I'll just get solo experience. These teams very well aware of how the game is being played.
But since this is the 3rd game in the best of 3 as well, that's exactly what Cloud9 Tempest did too. They're running in with a bunch of level 2 people as well, trying to get this turret. Yuzuki's still level 1, I lied. He'll get level 2 soon. They're still pushing with 4 though.
Yeah, he's a minion away from level 2 right here. Does not have Twin Bite, which would help him push a little bit, but it wouldn't mean too much. The shield on the cannon minion, correct choice. Cannon minions take less damage from turrets, so the shield has more mileage there. It's going to be the bottom lane turret pushing down, top lane turret going down a little bit slower than that one, so C9T with a quick lead.
Yeah, they knew they had the bottom lane. That push is a little bit faster. They get the one down. But based on the pacing of this push, I think they're both going to get 2 and then recall away.
I wonder if we're going to see inhibs go down. Or inhib turrets, I should say.
I want the game to end. Actually, I just want
6-minute next explosion. Tie game.
They just eventually send 5 people to both sides and be like, yeah, well, that's one way to decide it.
All right, well, tier 2 turret definitely going down here. Cloud9 Tempest getting this one. And of course, heck, if you're the team who pushes faster, yeah, there we go. Recalls coming in for a lot of compLexity.Black. They realize they are the slower pushers here. Well, Robert X and Bubba stay, though. They shove the next wave into the turret to try to deny any bit of a lane freeze.
Well, no one actually fully recalled there. They're expecting to see them soon. They just want to get this last wave because it is a cannon wave before they go back, which actually ends up costing them Dragon. Nice teleport down by Yuzuki.
Altec shows up. They got a defensive ward towards the blue buff as well to watch any rotations.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty big mind game there. When they went to recall, a couple Cloud9 Tempest people, ooh, is it going to hook? Yeah, Broken Shard goes in, what?
Goes in for Kez, takes a bunch of minefield damage, has to flash the wall, bit more than he bit off right there. Did it? It did actually stop Dragon, though.
He bit off more
than he could chew.
Than he could chew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I got it.
It was okay. I was confused why he did it too, and it just confused the rest of us.
It stopped Dragon, though.
Yeah, it was a nice little mind game by Cloud9 Tempest to show recalls like they were going back, and then cancel them once the minions had moved out of range. I think that's something like what happened.
Yeah.
Anyway, they don't get the Dragon because of Broken Shard's insanity, and there ended up being even.
Yeah, so 5-minute cooldown on that. We'll see if it's up for the next Dragon fight or his next game.
Actually, because out of all of this, compLexity.Black pushed an extra wave, the laning advantage is in their favor.
Yeah,
so
they've got 400
a full
gold.
wave out of that.
They've got 400 gold lead from CSing and whatnot.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting is the mind game could progress further. If compLexity.Black knew they were going to go for the Dragon, they could have actually kept all 4, pushed inhib turret for Dragon. More crazy mind games. That's what I love about League of Legends.
I actually do feel like for LCS playoffs, a lot of teams are going to be adopting this compLexity.Black strategy.
Yeah.
Sending 4 people, getting the jungler and the top laner level 2. It's a merging of what has been happening. It actually helps both parties come out ahead. I've noticed that when compLexity.Black does this, Broken Shard ends up still having good games, and their top laner is substantially more farmed than the enemy top laner. Plus, they get a better turret push. It's just a combination of how it's done. It's just a better way of doing the early turret pushes.
Yeah, I know you were wondering before, why does the jungler jungle top lane?
Yeah.
Just send them both top lane.
Why don't they just both do both? Come on, guys.
Teamwork. Oh, yeah, you're right. They both do both. They both jungle as well. Westrise jumps over, does dodge the root, but compLexity.Black ride the entire wave down to the mid lane. 4 members strong. They stay for the turret, but they take a lot of damage for it. Thankfully, level 4 Corki's not a huge damage source. They're going to get the turret in this one.
Yeah, they just continue to shove right there. And amazingly, Westrise is still not behind Yuzuki and Farm.
Yeah.
So all things considered, compLexity.Black is much better at playing this turret game than Cloud9 Tempest. We saw in Game 2 they gained edges because of it. They couldn't do it in Game 1 because of the level 1 snafu. But again in Game 3, they have given themselves an edge based on their strategic play.
So Westrise is going to try to get as much experience as possible. Yazuki just hit 6 right now. We'll see how much Westrise gets off the next wave. But with Yazuki taking the minions behind the turret, he's got free roam to get around the map. His teleport is up very soon. And there's going to be a bit of a map mobility edge for C9T if they can make that pay off anywhere. Right now, Robert is going to rejoin Prolly in the mid lane. With most of the edge turrets down, there's a lot of room for this kind of attack.
One thing I haven't mentioned that I need to mention at some point during this best of 3 is actually how well Bishu has played for Cloud9 Tempest. He had an incredibly poor best of 3 series against LMQ, and it made him look like someone who kind of chokes in big games. But these are big games, and he's played well in all 3 of them. So he's a rock with which Cloud9 Tempest can pull on in the mid lane.
Yeah, he's had very consistent games overall. We're going to see if he can keep this one going on his second time Ziggs. Did play that in Game 1, did get a win with that one. See if he can keep much of a CS lead going on. So far, 45-46, pretty equal. Madrid's picked up for the CLB jungler. Bubba getting his money in. It's going to be the standard golem start, I assume, for Kaz on Elise.
Yeah.
I guess a new standard for these junglers either way. Not that much to point out.
Yeah, true. Not a super early Wriggles for Broken Shard because he didn't get kills like he did last game. the retake on the blue buff take. Good counter jungling action there by compLexity. They actually end up getting double blue out of that, right?
Yeah, probably has one. Broken Shard has one. Very well done. The flash pick on the Bishu. Shockwave is flashed away. The damage going through, but the shield's going to keep him alive. Teleport canceled by Yazuki.
That was almost amazing. Because they kicked him into an Orianna ball, which then went to Shockwave, but flash hit before the Shockwave could detonate. Even so, 2 ultimates burn for the flash and ult of Bishu, and then they try to force down on this dragon again. Alltech is off farming a wave while compLexity.Black is making team plays. Can he collapse down and stop this dragon? Does not look like it.
Yeah, Yazuki's TP is down now. He canceled it on the teleport towards the mid lane turret. So a numbers lead. It's going to be the dragon picked up there for Broken Shard. But taking a bunch of damage. Force of Flash. Big heal comes out as well. Westrice gets the slow down, then disengages. 16 and T are forced back. They have not lost many summoners for this, though. Probably going to haste himself out of there. But it's a big top lane push. Actually, a lot of gold, maybe even a turret for the dragon.
Yeah, nice dragon there. As you can see, a dragon in the top lane as well, trying to push down the turret. But really, this is going to, bear with me on this analogy. This is kind of like watching old CLG play new CLG from this season, because right now, compLexity.Black is heavily objective focused, trying to rotate everywhere, whereas Cloud9 Tempest is ending up to give up objectives, and Alltech is almost never with the team. He is trying to split push and continue to keep his farm up so he can hard carry later in the game. He almost was able to do it in game 2, and he's not as efficient at it this game.
Yeah, there was a CLG win, I think it was against TSM, I want to say, a couple weeks ago, where we had them on the desk, and I was like, you know you guys were actually down in gold most of the game. They're like, wait, how do you mean we were down in gold? We had all the turrets, because they didn't farm at all.
Yeah.
And you can see the gold actually 400 apart, despite a a dragon lead right here. It's the farm lead.
Cloud9 Tempest has matched turrets better than they did in last game,
True.
Which is one of the reasons they're adapting. It's another thing that happens in these best of 3s. And here, because the shove happened from Alltech in the bottom lane, there's now a Robert XLE on the bottom, and Cloud9 Tempest trying to give compLexity a taste of their own medicine.
And Alltech got the red buff in that one, so this is the guy you want fed, the guy you want to give some jungle monsters to, and he's going to be happy. Of course, Kez cashed in for an early sorcerer shoes here on Elise, so investing very heavily in trying to make the early mid-game work for him with the extra damage output from Magic Pen. See if that pays off very much. Bubba still rotating around. You're seeing the fact that CLB have like a support helping to hold mid lane, and everyone around trying to help kill the jungle. Like, they are rotating for objectives very heavily. Of course, C92 doing a bit of the same with that red buff steal.
They're really answering a lot in this game 3's things that they weren't necessarily doing in game 2.
Yeah.
They are absolutely adjusting to try and keep up with compLexity here. Very early on in the game, they weren't, but I think they've snapped out of it very quickly when they realized the same thing was happening to them once again.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can see this game very close right now. Actually, 1,200 gold. Bigger lead than I thought it was, actually. I think I might have gotten the math wrong last time around, but... Did it just jump 900 gold recently?
Yeah, I think compLexity just shoved it all their lanes at once.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense for this one, so... Gonna sit around 1,000 gold, and the fact that the waves are all kind of at the equilibrium point means this is actually an accurate gold representation.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll see a couple hundred gold hidden away in like a low health turret or a giant minion wave stacked up somewhere. It looks like it's gonna be roughly about this. Gonna be a lot of farm going though to Alltech in the bottom lane. 65 CS is gonna jump up fairly soon. There is a big wave waiting for him.
Yeah.
Westrice, early Ninja Tabby actually, interestingly. He's fighting a lot of magic damage. Like if you're fighting tank Shyvana, that's mostly a magic damage champion.
Yeah, wow.
I'm very
Especially
surprised
Corky's heavy magic damage as well. So, Ninja Tabby themselves are still good boots against auto attacks. And the armor is okay, especially for turret diving. And Mercury Treads are more for avoiding crowd control, of which Cloud9 Tempest has none. I'd say Westrice upgrading his boots this quickly is more about the mobility than the stats. Ninja Tabby are some of the cheapest boots for him to upgrade, outside of boots mobility. Mercury Treads are heavily expensive and are not worth it, magic resist-wise.
Yeah, no, they're
so
not.
It's actually not that bad of a call, even though it's not as great as it could be against an auto-attack heavy team.
Yeah, it makes a whole lot of sense with this one. We'll see how that pans out with this one. Robert XLE getting close to Bloodthirster. Same for Alltech. There we go. Finishes it. Done. Alltech's got PT. He's gonna... Now he's got to kind of wait 4 or 5 waves to stack that up. There's about 1,000 gold or more worth of stats between a 0 stack and a fully stacked Bloodthirster. That's something to keep in mind.
That's why AD carries rushed for it so often.
Easier to get during the laning phase than late game.
compLexity.Black continuing to rotate around. Bunch of them looking to make a play here. Yuzuki, this is going to be on a timer. Either compLexity.Black has to go back right now or they have to turret dive right now. And Westrice is going to have to deal with that inhibitor turret, which is exposed.
Let's see what they end up finding on this one. Yeah, the bottom lane getting pushed. Teleport is available for Westrice, but he's definitely not around right now.
He's just running back. The turret's going to take a bit of damage, however. The turret does regen.
Yeah, well, Yasuki's about to grab 2 waves here. This is the last wave that's going to show up mid lane because Yasuki's killing the mid lane wave inside the base right now. Westrice not going to stop him in time.
Yeah, he actually ends up fighting the mid lane wave instead of the other wave because he can go get that wave later.
The Q follows over. The Westrice going to try to fight this duel right there. Yasuki, of course, only has Flash, no Dragon Force. Westrice taking a bunch of damage, though. The team coming around, though.
Yeah.
The Lulu showing up soon. The kick over the wall. The knock up there from Lulu as well. Yasuki's going to have to flash away or just give up his death. Exhaust coming through. That is going to be slowly but surely the kill finally coming in. Very
Ooh, he sat on the burnout afterwards, too. Damage in the mid lane.
Wow, Bishu low on health, forced to flash. Glebe's going to take up some of it. There comes Broken Shard as well. Big damage coming out from compLexity.Black, but not quite picking up the kill in the mid lane.
Wow. I just realized that was first blood 14 minutes into the game.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like there had been a lot more action with the intense lane swapping we've been seeing thus far. Very surprised that Yuzuki did not try and get his flash, or burn his flash while Westrice was killing him, because he nearly killed Westrice amongst all that. Even so, very surprising that Cloud9 Tempest couldn't make a play off of that huge collapse.
Yeah. Well,
And that they almost died in mid lane as well.
They were still waiting for the next mid lane wave to show up. This is the first wave they've gotten.
compLexity had the 2 people bottom lane, and a missing wave in the mid lane, and they almost got a kill in the mid lane. It was actually just a bunch of Cloud9 Tempest not being able to do much.
That's it, okay.
Yeah, because it should have been a 3v4. Instead, they ended up taking a little bit of extra farm for Altec in the top lane. Now the Dragon is live. This is a huge move in the game.
Wards being traded back and forth. Looks like Cloud9 Tempest actually right now owning the vision game. They've got a couple over the walls that will spot compLexity.Black on the route in. Another ward's going to be killed. Yeah, they've got
Corki, Shyvana, Ziggs in this mid-game Dragon fight is so threatening. Broken Shard would have to get a very good initiate and probably would have to land a very good shockwave in order for them to do something well here. And Westrice still hasn't even started his teleport. Here comes the channel.
Okay, gonna be a good knock of Broken Shard in the front line.
Go.
Gonna have to ulti, takes a whole bunch of pain, and down he goes. 2-man shockwave, but it's a 1 for 0 so far. Probably dead in the back lines. 2 kills so far for Ziggs, Glebe, Glarbu, and Bishu low on health. Will the kills come through? They're gonna be 1 for Robert Lee. Gonna look for another one, but can't quite find it. Knockup comes through for Lulu, but kills coming fast and furious for Cloud9 Tempest. Now Westrice stuck as well. Q is not gonna do much. 4 kills for 1 plus the Dragon.
Cloud9 Tempest just played that fight so much better than compLexity.Black. compLexity missed a lot of their stuff. Broken Shard was taken low before he could go in. And the armor and magic resist he gains from hitting his ultimate on many targets wasn't a benefit to him because he died immediately after. He did that at almost no health. Then Shockwave only hits 2, and also Westrice misses his execute. He kicked and missed his Sonic Wave. So at that point, compLexity.Black is done. All their important skills were missed. Cloud9 Tempest is still in the fight, able to wreck house. Even without Yuzuki becoming a dragon right there, they destroy.
Oh, what a damage comes through. So there we go. It's going to be a 1,000 gold lead now in Cloud9 Tempest's favor.
Huge swing in the game.
Absolutely it was. So here we go. 3-3 in towards that mark. Actually hasn't moved a little bit. Or in a while, I should say. In a bit.
Yeah.
Dragon, of course, going over a very big deal. The kill score being nice. And, of course, the perennial objective for C9T being Altec gets farm. Still being acquired. 137 minions on him. Second highest in the game.
Big swing here for Cloud9 Tempest. Throughout this best of 3, we have seen that the team that can control 5v5 team fights is the team that wins these games.
Yeah.
While being able to create picks and opportunity has been a little bit more in the favor of compLexity.Black, in those straight-up 5v5 brawls, they continue to be forced by these two teams. They're not necessarily able to split up teams. Westrice isn't a powerful enough split pusher to make those happen. And that just gives Cloud9 Tempest a big edge here. Once they pull ahead, compLexity.Black needs to make plays to come back.
Let's see if they can make these plays happen. They do have the Wriggles Lantern Jungler, going to scale up best he can. Right now the stacks.
It's going to be a lot slower this game, though,
21.
when they're pushed behind. 21.
Yeah.
At 18 minutes.
Close to it. He'll get it by 20 is my guess. See how much more of the jungle he can take right now. Blue buff, I believe, spawning back up. At the very least, we're looking for Altec on the bottom side, though. There's going to be blue buff going over to Prawley. So far the jungle not being stolen from compLexity.Black too much. Keeping the game fairly close. 1,400, though mid lane has a bit of a quick siege lead. Probably will have to get rid of all that. Pink ward control. They're fighting over it. Looks like Glebe is going to take this one with his team.
A lot of that just has to do with coL.Tech being so strong. The AD carries could have came to support, but if Robert X. Lee looked at coL.Tech the wrong way, he would have lost that trade. This is a very dangerous moment in the game for compLexity.Black. They've already lost a team fight despite having a lead, and now they need to create split pushing. That was your escape, Westrice, that Q. Let's see if you can still get away.
He's gonna get knocked around. Ooh. Nice kick on Yatsuki. Actually rides the train down, then kicks him away. That was extremely impressive.
That was pretty cool.
Pushed forward, kicked back.
Yeah.
That was just all kinds of nice. I just like those moves. Well, Bluebev's gonna go to Bishu pretty safely. He is 2-0-2 this game. You talked about him stepping up in big matches, and
yeah,
he's got the best score on his team.
Ziggs in those mid-game Dragon fights is just devastating as well. Prawley falling behind a little bit in farm once again, just sitting on that Athene. Oriana needs, I feel like he needs a death cap at this point to become relevant. And that's a ways away. Low farm for 19 minutes into the game for these mid laners.
Yeah, really it is. It's been the AD carries getting any of it.
It's a little bit of a byproduct of how much time, you know, both supports have spent in the mid lane, how many times AD carries have walked down there, the junglers. Mid lane kind of the last battleground because all the side lanes have been killed, but they're holding strong in the mid lane.
Yeah, they're doing what they can. For what it's worth, probably has enough for the needlessly large rod right now. He might go grab that one. Almost the same case for Bishu. Bishu's got a bit of a gold lead, so that blasting wand actually, you know, putting him ahead for obvious reasons in this matchup.
Westrice's skill order on Lee Sin is also kind of interesting to note. Like most Lee Sins, he maxed E first in the lane, but then instead of maxing his Iron Will, his shield, he's maxing his Q second for a little bit more damage. You gotta land him though if he wants to take advantage of that. Just misses on Kez, and Kez gets away.
Yeah, just slightly misses out on that one. So high damage Lee Sin, of course, did rush Ravenous Hydra, now going also for a last Whisper.
Yeah.
So Westrice really just wants to burst somebody out, and when you've got Lulu Oriana, that's a lot of protection to probably keep that Lee Sin alive. Yeah. If compLexity.Black plays the right kind of fight, Westrice should live through it, but we'll see if that, of course, happens.
And here's the big reason I think he's going last Whisper is just look at the armor stack Yuzuki's already put together. Westrice wants to be a split-pushing threat, but he cannot be a split-pushing threat against Yuzuki's Shyvana right now with so much armor. Warden's Mail, Sunfire Cape, and the Ninja Top.
And keep in mind, of course, lifesteal based off of how much damage you actually deal, so unless he can actually break through the armor shell, he's not going to get much health back. See level 13 for both these guys. Westrice not opting into fights all that often. Let's get back in towards his wave.
He needs to get that last Whisper.
Clear out some of these.
Barely touching him.
Okay, Q comes in.
Yeah.
Making a noticeable dent. They're both around 2,000 health right now. And again, yeah, the wave clear pretty easy. Yatsuki really showing no fear. He's happy to tank the minion wave and just clear it and wait for base health regen. Randwood's not far away. Ninja Tabby for him, of course, making a lot of sense. Trinity Force close to done here for coL.Tech. He's one recipe piece away. Robert X. Lee, meanwhile, is 2 away.
Yeah, I don't even think they can get a Trinity Force by the time of this next team fight as well, because the next Dragon is about to happen. 40 seconds in here. compLexity.Black lost it last time. They missed a couple critical skills, and Prawley actually gets initiated on before the fight.
And another bomb's going to land, putting some good damage through. Yatsuki down to about 2/3 as well, but Prawley, of course, significantly lower. Does have one of his team's 2 summoner heals. Picks another bit of poke, actually. There's some really good harass from Bishu right now.
Interesting to note that there are all 10 summoner spells available right now in the game, making this next fight a little bit more explosive. Prawley, though, if he's that low, cannot be a big contributor in this team fight. Cloud9 and Tempest can bully them away and just control this next Dragon. I think it's a poor choice if compLexity.Black tries to fight it.
All right, well, Yatsuki does not have an ulti, which means that Westrice could completely teleport and not get stopped if he wanted to go in. Bishu takes a big damage chunk from the coL.
Wow, so mid laners on both sides are actually now really low, evening this fight out a little bit. I wonder if despite having a worse team fight composition, compLexity.Black can take this one out because they can get the Ziggs out of the fight and have a no ultimate Shyvana if they play this completely right. Pink Ward going in, they're going to make the force.
All right, they're going to try for it. Corki's still in the mid lane shoving up. Looks like C19 might just trade mid lane turret for this damage coming through. Ziggs not there, Shyvana not there. Lee Sin actually in a bit of a duel against coL.Tech, so that's going to be fairly safe. compLexity.Black do take it down, so Dragon goes over to compLexity.Black, putting the score back into a lead for the red team, 400 gold.
That is what compLexity needs to do in order to take objectives in this game. They have to get harassed down beforehand, push somebody out of a fight, and then take it. We saw 5v5 fights do not work, but those sort of things do.
5v4 tends to work for these guys.
It tends to work for most.
The potential 5v4, not one that C19 jumps into, but would have likely been a victory. So now the gold lead back in compLexity.Black's favor. We'll see as these champions continue to scale up. Looks like Deathcap almost done, though, for Bishu. Probably's got a bit more room to go.
Feral Flare completed for Broken Shard. Got 3 extra stacks on it right now.
Kills and assists now stack those as well, so the big thing for Sinjao being gank pressure. Well, didn't find too many early game, but now in team fights he can get some more stacks up with this one.
That's the thing that the Feral Flare allows him to do. He used to be this early game or bust jungler. Now he can still have a relevant impact later with a bunch of attack speed, a bunch of life on hit coming from the Flare and his W, and still that great initiation power with tons of innate armor and magic resistance.
I want to see actually if Feral Flare junglers, I mean, I guess they already have the ward from the Flare, but if they start going Sightstone because of how efficient that item is, they can afford the lack of combat stats.
Ooh,
and be a bigger. You don't
I feel like
so?
you just want to go full tank after Flare if
Okay.
you're someone like Xin Zhao.
And the 400 gold detour for Sightstone.
Plus, they already have Feral Flare ward. If they do the
Yeah.
Sightstone ward, they can't necessarily place too many.
Yeah. I'm just sort of thinking
It's an
like
interesting thought.
more ways to put wards down. I mean, I guess you just usually trade your trinket out for a red trinket, which actually Broken Shard hasn't done yet. He's actually using ward trinkets. Oh, Westrise with the kick back though in a 1v2 though against Kez. Gonna be some good damage through. Can he jump to anything? No, he can't. He actually burns the flash.
Yeah.
And he goes down to Elise anyway.
That's tough. He had completed his last Whisper, made him a little bit confident, but then he got hit by a Spider. So that was bad.
Yeah.
The rest of Complexity, though, trying to hold off this mid lane. Now a man down, having to deal with the Ziggs Corky Poke. Really potent.
And here comes the first wave in about 10 seconds here. Looks like control over the Wraith camp real quick. Making sure they're all gone. That's going to be the case there. Kez, Bishu, Altec, Gleblar, with the whole team really, or those 4 I should say, are going to be there for this siege. 4v4 right now. Yasuke pushing over the top lane. A bit of wave clear. Shockwave lands on a Glebe. Good damage from the culling as well. Going to be the disengaged turret stays alive. That's an ultimate down. 2 ultimates down.
Yeah, trying to hold this one 4v4, not necessarily easy. The real way compLexity.Black gets kills is by hard initiating with Broken Shard. He can become that ball delivery system for the team. Pretty nice to hold them off the turret, but it's just to make up for Westrise being down.
And once again, Glebe is going towards Twin Shadows. It seems to be his build right here.
It's a nice build.
Stopping at tier 2 GP.
Especially on Karma. Speed up your team, slow the enemy.
Well, Westride's going to find a bit of a pick there, and Yasuke kicks him into the wall. Broken Shard not far away, but tier 1 boots make him rather slow. Yasuke's outrunning him.
Well, he can get the angle, but the ultimate might stop it from happening. Broken Shard trying to take the inside track.
He can flash, dash, lands it. The knockup's not quite going to hit. Oh! Yasuke turns around.
More slow.
He can get the E slow again. It's up from cooldown. There's the knockup. Yasuke.
Backup has arrived.
The flash already down, but Westride's now going to get collapsed on Kez. Helps his team, gets the kill. Overextension once again by Westrice.
Yeah, it definitely seems like Complexity is tunneling a little bit in that top lane, and is all because Westrice is getting a little over aggressive. He's trying to force this split push play to work. He's got a ton of farm, 273 CS, but he's getting a little overzealous at times, and it is definitely hurting their team. When the split push pressure is down, they are again forced into 4v4 and 5v5 siege fight scenarios, which they are not superior in. Cloud9 Tempest gets the edge there.
And we'll see if they can keep the mid lane alive. Looks like the case for now. Broken Shard leaves the top lane alone once RoboDex League calls dibs on it. So the Feral Flare stack going to continue right there. Level 13 now. Now it's 5 ranks in Q and E, so points moot at this point.
Points moot. He did have 5 points in Q when he had 3 in E.
Yeah, he was like, so I actually watched throughout the game. He was like 2 points E, then 2 points Q, then 3 points E, and then just kind of went back and forth, and then just maxed out Q.
Maybe he just presses both of them at the same time.
And whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, you never know.
You know, split the difference. I mean, it's the same way that AD carries do runes. Just, you know, health, armor, whatever. Whatever I end up getting. Yasuke a bit aggressive there. Altec going to recall those, so C19 not with a 5-man squad, but it might be enough. Shockwave. Sleep Glaru hit up, but forced to flash away.
Still just on to 1. Probably very close to his death cap. That's when he's going to become much more threatening on the Orianna. The turret barely staying alive.
But it's not got much to go.
Yeah, pretty good wave clear by Prawley. Yeah,
Westrice flanking him from the side. Altec joining in soon, though. These guys are both going to join the 5v5 shortly. A pink ward will spot Westrice coming in. C19 back up for that one, but the ward will go down rather rapidly. These are going to be some dead wards now. compLexity.Black getting a bit of control, and immediately, new ward comes down saying, our brush.
Yeah. Bring more sweepers. That's the trouble, though, for compLexity. They're pushed back a little bit, so they don't necessarily have the map control to oversweep, whereas Cloud9 Tempest has the 4 sweepers, and they're trying to starve map vision on compLexity.Black. It also is good for starving Westrice's split pushing escapades. They can get rid of his safety wards. One of the big reasons they've been able to get 3 kills onto him. But again, these last 2 dragon fights have been very pivotal in the overall story of this game. As we continue to get later and later, we know a few things. compLexity.Black either needs to play the team fight perfectly or get someone low before a team fight. If it is a straight-up 5v5, Cloud9 Tempest comes out on top.
Yasuki in the top lane does have teleport. No one's so far stopping him. He's soon going to reach that tier 2 turret. Westrice forces the Valkyrie away from Altec.
This gets even more interesting, though, because Yuzuki is actually still in the top lane, whereas Westrice is down bottom, which puts compLexity.Black in the situation where they have to force.
And they're going to start this one. Westrice going to make his way up towards the top lane to maybe stop that split push, but this Dragon down to half HP. The ball helping zone out the team a little bit. C9T going to make their way forward. Spooky Ghosts come out. Are they going to all-in Dragon? Looks like that will go down quickly. Kez not in range. It's going to be Dragon picked up. The fight now beginning. Yasuki in the front lines taking a bit of damage, pulling back as well. Brogashard doesn't have an out button. It's going to be actually the Dragon form barely makes it over the wall. Brogashard tried to stop that one, but it's just actually the teleport going down and the Dragon for no kills, but mid lane getting answered.
Yeah, at that point, it ends up being an even trade. Wow, trying to figure out exactly what happened there. Cloud9 Tempest did not want to overcommit. I'd say the teleport placement by Yuzuki did not make an initiation ideal, which is why they ended up not fighting, and it gave the Dragon to compLexity.Black. That was an incredibly dangerous situation for compLexity.Black, considering the reward was only trading their middle turret for a Dragon, which some could argue isn't a reward at all.
Yeah, but they did get the red buff steal at the very least that went to Altec. Unfortunately for compLexity.Black, they do not stay for the mid lane. Looks like a lack of wards. They didn't know where C9T was going, so probably doesn't pressure the mid lane outer turret here. Westrice did stop the push from happening top lane, but C9T is still setting a bit of a trap, and they reveal themselves. They're going to try to push with this. Next wave, though, is 20 seconds away.
Some pretty impressive CS numbers here. 297 on Westrice and Altec.
Wow,
Speaking
the knock-in! Altec knocked backwards. Here comes the engage. Westrice just goes right down, though. compLexity.Black outnumbered right here. Team still rotating in slow onto Yasuki. The team still alive. A bit of engage from Brogashard, but not enough. Just a death going in.
This could still be an initiation. Probably get stunned.
Stunned up. Shockwave is going to land on a much right there. A lot of knockouts coming around. There's a 3-man Shockwave. Engage comes in. Will they have the damage? Glebe Glarb is going down. It's going to be a trade and kill so far. Brogashard will also fall, though, making it an extended 3-for-1. Now probably in a bad spot. Gets cocooned up. Another kill comes through. Only Robert Lee is alive from compLexity.Black. 2-for-4.
Big fight right there for Cloud9 Tempest. Overall kills are now 10-4. They get the turret after this one. Altec is becoming a bit of a monster once again because of that 300 CS. It all began when Westrice tried to make a play without seeing the overall story of the game. Like, look at where his team is. Yes, he kicked Altec back in, but because they could not instantly kill him, it was a terrible initiation. He put himself in harm's way against 5 people of Cloud9 Tempest. Probably isn't even here yet, and now they're fighting 3.5 v5, and they still almost get it because Prawley got off a spectacular shockwave. He gets stunned, but then a bunch of Cloud9 Tempest walk into here. Watch that one. 3 of them, not Altec. Still, it's a non-winnable fight when they start without their 300 CS Lee Sin, and Prawley comes in late. Overall, compLexity is lucky they got 2 out of that 4.
Yeah, so more lead for now. Cloud9 Tempest 5-3 in turrets. Lost to Dragon, but they're winning the objective game. I gotta say, overall, 31.5 minutes in, sitting on a small but existent 2,500 gold lead. It definitely matters at this point in the game.
Baron is a huge objective to force here now.
Let's see if that one can be taken down. Pink ward inside Baron pit. I think mandatory if you're gonna try Baron. Don't just rely on sweepers for that one. Ward control attempted here by compLexity.Black. They don't find a ward there. That one comes down though. Will not get stopped. So C9T with some good vision control. Poke onto Kez. The minefield actually doing some good damage to Prawley. He might get caught out.
Oh no.
Damage comes through. Knocked in the air. Down he goes. Kill picked up. The re-engage on Altec. Some damage forced the flash from Broken Shard. Another 1-for-0.
Prawley just caught way out of position right there. Cloud9 Tempest does have pretty good vision control there, but if you're checking something, it should not be with your squishy AP carry. That death could cost them a lot more. Means complete vision control for Cloud9 Tempest around the Dragon Pit. Baron Pit. Maybe even the Baron itself. This goes down fast. It's actually on a ward. Should they not see that ward? Or are they just doing it in full knowledge?
Yeah, Pink ward doesn't see far enough down.
Wow.
True sight doesn't reach quite the edge right there. Gonna be Altec, they're looking for an engage. They're into 2. Does the burst damage? Bump it up goes down. Brogashard maybe soon to follow. Dashes over the wall. Good ward usage to make himself stay alive, but we just keep seeing individual kills picked up time and again here for C9T.
It's another one of these quirky games for Altec. He needs to conserve his mana right here in the Baron Pit. They think they're doing this without vision, but Complexity absolutely sees it, which makes this a dangerous proposition. They're going to have to back away.
And they back right off. Bijou very low, though. Actually takes an unfavorable trade against Robert X. Lee, whose ulti was slightly still down, so no kill comes through for the Lucian here. Altek going to burn his mana, getting rid of the mid lane wave real quick. Fairly safe. Triforce, Last Whisper, Bloodthirster, all already done, starting on the Infinity Edge, so going more of an AD carry type build, not... I mean, aside from Sorceries, basically, it's the same build regardless, but...
Yeah.
Got to be a little bit more auto-attack reliant than he could have been if he wanted to. But again, with the team being this tanky, I think that's the right choice.
Yeah, I think so too. Being able to finish down Xin Zhao if he goes in. Very important for Altek's Corki. He is getting very, very strong.
Yep.
And it's becoming apparent that compLexity.Black can't necessarily close onto him.
Ooh. Short Valkyrie, it's enough to get him out of shockwave range.
Yeah, absolutely. We mentioned earlier it's much harder to instantly kill someone with everyone bringing all these heals and exhausts and shields into the game. It was even more true when Altek got kicked back into the team. It was a heal and a Karma Shield, and he hopped out of there with 75% of his health.
Yep.
Despite getting kicked into half a team of compLexity.Black.
Well,
Speaking of kicks.
Knock back on a Gleep. Whenever the slow comes in, Q's going to land.
That was shield and heal burned, though.
Jumps back on his team, yeah. So Mikhail's, though, actually not even up from cooldown yet, nor is Twin Shadows. Those are going to be up in about 15 seconds, though, so we'll have those for the next fight. Only missing the one summoner ulti, low enough cooldown, he can probably have it reliably for any battle he wants. Blue buff does go to Prawley, but no Void Staff, whereas that is here for Bijou, who is 5, 1, and 4 on the Ziggs. We talk about the CS coming in for Altek, but Bijou is having the highest kills on his team.
And Westrice, despite taking 340 farm, has not made an impact on the overall game. It's a strong Baron force by Cloud9 Tempest. Near suicide of compLexity.Black tries to stop this one. They got to be careful not to get caught out.
Well, Brokenshard not in the best spot. Jumps in towards Yasuki a little bit. Ran with pop. He
goes
in. Big Ziggs bomb's going to hit some good damage here. The disengage with the culling helping a bit. Good shockwave finds Yasuki. This could be a good fight for compLexity.Black. They find Yasuki. They're trying to disengage Bubba. Probably getting cocooned though. Takes Mikhail's. He will live. Kez is low. The engage from Robert X. Lee not going to chase him down. But that was a kill. But still a dragon for C19.
Yeah, a bit of an overcommit there by Yuzuki. He didn't want to do that last time. He did it this time. Teleport coming in as well from Westrice.
Flash from Hodab doesn't find anything. The Ziggs minefield comes through.
They want so many more kills off this. If they can get a few, it means they can go for Baron. But they could not finish off kills.
Yeah, but they're still running towards Baron anyway. This is the sort of do-or-die attempt right there. Yasuki down for 25 seconds. Robert X. Lee gonna hold mid as compLexity.Black sweeps away wards, and they begin the attempt right here.
They're still trying. They know they use the teleport to get Westrice here. They can kill it very fast with the Pharaoh Flare as long as their team gets here, but the zoning out by Bubba Dub and Robert is going to be more and more difficult. That's a lot of damage on Robert.
Well, she pulls a little bit of attention there. Bubba Dub putting the Whimsy down. Good damage on Altek. Exhaust as well. Can they find the kill? Robert X. Lee loses the duel. Double kill there for Altek. Probably forced to run back. Baron is low. Picked up just barely by Brokenshard. Neither of them actually smote a bit early. Westrice in a bad spot. Brokenshard taking some damage as well. They can't find the engage. Glebe is low. Probably puts a shield on Brokenshard. Kez finds the kill though. Bijou is still waiting off the wings. Glebe still low. Shockwave dodged. Ziggs bomb's gonna get dodged away as well, but probably dangerously low. Kez picks up the kill. Altek on the front lines kick back. The shields keep him alive though. It's an ace for Baron.
What a game we have right here. A clean ace by Cloud9 Tempest off of a crazy Baron, but let's see exactly how that one happened. So Robert almost won this for him. The great Whimsy by Bubba Dub stopping a lot of the damage, and then the culling just can't quite finish them. And exhaust on Altek wears off for an exhaust on the other. But the whole time, the Baron was trying to be zoned for. And this is where things got really dicey. If Westrice lands one more Sonic Wave, he would have killed Altek right there. But speaking of which, death timers are long. That's an inhibitor down.
There we go. Still 15 seconds of 5 versus 2 right here, but it's going to be compLexity.Black now looking at the shambles of their base. It's going to be interesting. Of course, Cloud9 Tempest now completely own the map. Dragon should be respawning within the inhibitor's death timers. That's going to be map control for a while and some more gold. 6,000 gold lead for C9T. It's more than a 10% bump over compLexity.Black. That's one thing to keep in mind. But with Baron off the map, you can farm that on him for a while.
It changes the complexion of the game. You know, Cloud9 Tempest is probably going to go for the opposite lane, so now the bottom lane would be the next route. It really changes the game right now. compLexity.Black is in total panic mode. They needed to set up a split push, and their split push has now been denied, especially with an inhibitor down. Meaning Cloud9 Tempest is in complete control. No Baron, but it doesn't necessarily matter. There's still some outer turrets for them to take.
Yeah, well, right now CLB managed to at least get rid of the outer middle turret. They got something back for themselves. 4 to 6 in turrets, actually. Surprisingly, not that far apart. But Cloud and Tempest with wildly superior team fighting. 17 to 5 in champion kills. Time and again, they're winning these battles. The gold is staying relatively close, but CNIT just showing better results in fights. See if that continues here. Looks like the siege will continue. Of course, no Baron buff means you're just fighting with the gold in your pockets.
Yeah. And there's a fair bit of gold in their pockets.
True.
I would say. 15,600 for Altec, who, got a bit of that farm early. Continued to farm the side lanes. Put a priority on it. While the rest of his team was withstanding the exquisite rotations of compLexity.Black and the split push of Westrice. That was always a factor, but they've shut it down time and again. They're again matching split pushing, but they're in that moment now. With the Corki, 550 range 80 carry, trying to siege against an Orianna is very dangerous.
Westrice.
And Westrice is actually cutting off the minion supply line to stop this siege.
This is risky, though. If he gets caught out, it's going to be a big power play opportunity. Yazuki pushing the top lane right now.
What if they try and force a 4v5 temporarily? Even though Yazuki could teleport in, if they get the right jump on him, it could mean something. Here comes Westrice, maybe from behind.
You shoot a half. Broken Shard on the side as well. Kez has to jump in towards the Wraith camp. Gets slowed down by Glitter Lance. compLexity.Black do disengage. And there comes the teleport.
Oh, the spooky ghosts!
Gonna see what's gonna be a 5v5. Zigzbomb's gonna hit 2 right there. Low health bars. Yazuki, can he get the cutoff? Ulti comes in. They look for Altec. Good damage. Where's the shotgun gonna come in? Not gonna find it yet. Q comes in from Westrice, but he's gonna get taken down so rapidly. Altec now dominating. They do not get rid of the AD carry, and C9T looking good right here. The jump in. They look for Prolly now as well. More damage
is
through.
huge.
Shockwave is still available. Broken Shard locked up. Takes the Mikhail. Shockwave only hits the backlander of Bishu, who buries and stays alive. Now Prolly trying to make it happen for the team. Yazuki a bit overextended. Very low on health. One more shot, and Robin actually finds the kill back. Both top laners now dead. The engage.
Showing potency on both sides right there. The top laners are just trying to overcommit a little bit too much. Still a very close battle because, like you said, no Baron on either side. Just fighting with the money in their pockets. Let's see if Cloud9 and Tempest can continue this push home because they have compLexity.Black a little bit lower than themselves.
Soloing used again for the wave clear. It might just be enough. Wow, Broken Shard. Nearly taken down. He's going to be fine. The quick wave clear.
He had to go back for those minions too. If he didn't make it back, those minions may have taken down a Nexus turret. So that's always a fear.
Yeah, that turret's down to half right now.
Exactly.
So gotta be a thing to keep in mind.
As soon as 2 super minions stack up in the same wave, they start buffing each other and they become an unstoppable force. He was able to kill one of them.
Well, there is only one super minion left. It's the one rounding that top corner right there. That's the last super minion for the top lane there. For Cloud9 Tempest. Actually, no, sorry. It's not that one. It's the one that's in the base right there. The one at the top of the map has no super minion.
All right.
So the inhib is going to respawn. No more pressure on it. And here is now the dragon.
Yeah, taking a look at this last fight, you can see Westrice did get the catch on a Kez, but just close enough to the Wraiths for him to find safety. And as we see a Dragon Tekken here, we get to watch this big team fight. The fact that it was 1-for-1 is almost a miracle for compLexity.Black. After that ultimate hit onto their backline, it looked like they were going to be able to chase them down. Westrice, in fact, overcommits a lot into the rest of Cloud9 Tempest, and then they can kind of just chase down. But the question was chasing as a unit. At that point, Yazuki overcommitted once again and was taken down by a very confident Robert X.
He's half his team's depth. The Yazuki, the Shyvana up there on the top lane. 18-6 now, triple the kills, still a 6,000 gold difference. His mid lane very much under fire. Cloud9 Tempest using their gold to push and gain more of it. Going to be that turret going down, another about 700 gold going into the pockets. Bub It Up does get stunned. This could be the engage. Big burst comes across. Shadow Charge is great as well. Corki Q adding even more damage, but
this is a 4v5. They're clearing away. Westrice is continuing his split push, now 400 CS strong, and they're actually charting out fairly strongly to stop them from getting back. They're going to try maybe an inhibitor play or another strong disengage. How much can compLexity.Black keep them back here?
Yazuki's recall did.
Continuing to stop these recalls, a very impressive 4v5 play here, because if they get locked into a 5v5, they have shown that they are the inferior team.
Well, Westrice on the split push, though, is getting a ton of money for himself. 410 minions, despite the bad score, is about to complete a full tank build.
Yeah.
Randuin's Banshees and another Megatron. I think that's, I'm guessing GA, actually. I don't think he'd go Visage. Maybe
so much
Locket.
So much gold, but so few kills. He needs to realize that gold and be able to make big plays in teamfights. Lee Sin is not necessarily the best scaler unless played perfectly. even then, sometimes he just becomes utility in the late game. So putting 400 farm onto a Lee Sin doesn't necessarily hyperscale you or make you solo everyone.
Yeah. Right now his goal is basically avoiding team fights. He's doing that fairly often by pulling someone around, delaying the 5v5s.
That's pretty much what he's doing. He's hoping Prawley and Robert X Lee can get strong enough where they could out-carry the Corki and the Ziggs.
Yeah.
coL.Black actually going for a 5th offensive item, probably Blade of the Ruin King here on Corki, because it's very difficult for Complexity to reach him in team fights. So he's just trying to do more and more damage.
Yeah, and he's got, what, 2 summoner heals and a very high AP, good support Karma in there. So, yeah, going for the heavy offense. Of course, still an item ahead is coL.Black. The Infinity just now completed for Robert X Lee, so he's hit a big power spike. We'll see if that matters against the Cutlass now of Corki. Pogashard doesn't want to walk through that brush. Kez gets spotted with a ward. The bottom lane pusher, Westrice kind of ignoring Yasuke here, getting some good damage. That turret actually will fall.
So turrets abound for Westrice. I mean, he's got enough tankiness that Yuzuki can't necessarily kill him. It's going to create a bit of a turret race here, though, because that's an exposed inhibitor. Complexity cannot make it back to stop this inhibitor. They basically just traded 2 outers for an inhibitor being down again.
Well, Ziggs ulti's not going to be in range to stop the recall, so inhibitor will go down, and of course Baron is up as well on the map, so C9T disengaged very safely. All the recalls come through. Yeah, 2 turrets for an inhibitor.
Arguable, actually,
we'll see what they can do.
Whether that's worth it or not. I'm going to say no, it's not worth it at this point, but Cloud9, or compLexity.Black does get the gold off of that. And since it is the top lane turret, they can still clear that wave while contesting Baron.
Yeah.
So it's probably the best inhibitor for them to actually have down at this point.
But at the same time, if C9T can win a fight, that minion wave, they can ride it into the game. Yeah.
Easy. Even if they stall long enough with the minion wave not being cleared, game over again.
Yeah, true.
1 wave of super minions will kill a base if left uncontested. Well, 1 downed inhibitor, if never touched, will end the game.
Yes, absolutely the case. So we're going to see Westrice, though, by himself, his own super minion. Big Lee Sin pushing the bottom side. He's going to recall back, though, realizes Baron is being contested. He wants to make sure he's full on items when he goes in. It is another cowl.
The timing is all off for Complexity right now. They don't have people clearing the top lane turret as the Baron has started. Westrice was down bottom for far too long. And this is incredibly dangerous. He's teleporting in way from the back, and here comes the Spooky Ghost and the initiation.
Got the home guard in. There comes Yasuke, knocked around to the front lines. What can they get off this one? A big ulti comes in, probably low on health. Can he find much here? Trying to run away from Kez, who does get knocked around. Westrice back over the wall. He's going to be safe as well. Glitterlance not going to land on him much. The disengage coming across. Kez, low on health, has lost his flash. The re-engage shockwave does not land on anything. Pogashard now overextended, forced back, knocked around a little bit. Now it's Westrice in the front lines. Kez, exhausted, back up into the air he goes. 5v5, disengages, he's still alive. The 5 vs 5, the re-engage again. Cocoon, Pogashard does go down. coL.Black finds 1, Westrice does not find an answer. Robert X Lee trying to get away, slow on a Bijou, life stealing off some minions. Westrice on the escape as well. Minions inside the base right now. compLexity.Black must answer.
What a close fight, but that might break the back of compLexity.Black. They tried to go in there with the initiation, the ball delivery system. It failed. It means they lost a Nexus turret and the Baron, unless some miracle steal happened with no smite being up. compLexity.Black is sticking around for no good reason.
Down to 1/4 HP. C9T gonna grab that one for themselves. Red buff just grabbed for Westrice, but he's not found too much to do for the team right here. Probably back in for defense. Bubba holding the minion line for now. Lulu trying their hardest to kill these off. Has a Banshee's Veil for what it's worth, but that doesn't kill minions.
Yeah, and he's out of mana. He needs to go back and get some of this. So, wow. Best of 3. Just going back to the start. Cloud9 and Tempest had the better teamfight composition in Game 1.
Yeah.
compLexity.Black made some mistakes. compLexity.Black came back hugely strong with a stronger teamfight composition in Game 2.
Yeah.
It made it seem like they were just going to go to Game 3 and win it cleanly. At the very start of the game, they started off just how they started Game 2. Better rotations, better dragon control, and an early gold lead. But that's when Cloud9 Tempest made their adaptation. They stopped just farming with coL.Black. They brought him in with the team. They neutralized Westrice. They forced the team fights when they needed to force the team fights. And they have completely controlled this game throughout. It's been incredibly close, but it would be such a satisfying victory if they're able to close this one out.
Gonna get a chance to 7,000 gold, puts Cloud9 Tempest in the lead. Dragon's gonna make that more like 8,000 here. 8.5, whatever. Yasuke gonna push the bottom lane up right there. Top and hip. Still got some time with super minions. And the entire C9T lineup looking now for the bottom lane.
Full damage build on coL.Black. Bijou is almost there as well. They don't care about the defensive items on their backline because their backline is so hard to reach. Therefore, they just do a whole bunch of damage. That turret going down fast.
It's going to be the coL getting rid of some of the Banshee's bells that were equipped overall, but C9 happy to still wait around and look for the opening. Next wave coming up in about 15 seconds. Just the poke coming out from Ziggs. No reason to be this close to the lineup anyway. Quick ward kill. Q lands. Doesn't matter for West Rice. Defensive pink ward keeps wards from going over the wall from C9T. See the ball coming across. Looks to zone someone out.
The inhibitor has respawned, but this Baron is actually pretty hard to initiate with. Even in the fights that Cloud9 Tempest has won, Zuki's winning a little bit ahead of his team, but they brute force down the inhibitor turret enough. Might just end up getting this one, daring really compLexity to initiate because their counter initiation is that much stronger, but not going in themselves.
Shockwave's going to land on a 2. Altek down a half HP, takes his shield. Yasuki's still in the front lines. Kez going to go in as well. Bubba locked up. Big damage on him. There's Spooky Ghost. Inhib goes down. It's going to make it just one inhibitor. The bottom lane. West Rice still there. Lands the Q onto Kez. Does he chase down? Looks like not. Maybe the disengage. Just the turret and the inhibitor kill.
I'm actually kind of expecting Cloud9 Tempest to just do that to all 3 inhibitors and all 3 inhibitor turrets, or at least the one remaining in the mid lane. That was very effective. The Baron regen is keeping them healthy, teleporting in so Yazuki can come back in as well. I expect repetitive sieges. They'll go for the exposed inhibitor first, so they have 2 inhibitors down, and that would unlock the 3rd. It might not be that methodical because compLexity.Black will see it coming and force a team fight, which could also end the game because they're weaker.
See if they can. Kez a little bit low on mana, but probably still without Shockwave on Orianna. Gonna see C9T get in range. The damage coming through onto the inhibitor right now. Q lands from Lee Sin. Bit of poke coming out from Lucian, but neither team committing too hard for the engage. Altek now has to respect the fact that Shockwave is back available. West Rice shield on a Bubba Dub. Yasuki waiting now on the bottom hand side. Altek putting some damage across the inhib. Lower and lower minions gonna start stacking up the bottom side as well. Probably dodging back and forth, but losing some health bar. Blue Elixir gonna take on some good damage on the Bijou, but he's gonna disengage pretty well, pretty safely. The inhib's gonna be going down.
And that's Shockwave down, so compLexity.Black feels like they're out of options right now. 2 inhibitors off of that 1 Baron, but they still have some time on it. They might go back and shop and push number 3, or they could just push number 3 right now.
So the team's gonna be happy to disengage at least for now and look for this minion wave now in the minion lane. Or minion wave in the middle lane, there we go.
Yeah, the middle lane is the minion lane right now because it's the only one compLexity will have minions to fight for them. The other 2 are super minions down.
Flash engage looks for Bubba, not going to find that. One's going to be a trade of summoner spells in this one. C9T though happy to keep going Shockwave halfway till it's back up. The bottom lane wave going to start stacking up really quickly. Got cleared away, but it's going to be back with the vengeance very soon. Minions gone again, 15 seconds.
Yeah, Baron buff gone, so probably time for Cloud9 Tempest to do a little retreat. They're going to have a lot of gold sitting on them right now.
About 1,300 each.
Don't even know where Altek's going to spend it. Probably just elixir up a little bit. Bishu would be able to build maybe a Morellonomicon with his last item if he wants some cooldown reduction. Or a defensive item.
He just sold a blasting wand.
I know. He's got to buy something.
I think he's waiting for the total amount of money. He's got 2,100.
8
Lichbane piece. It's the movement speed AP item.
All right. Here we go.
Lichbane costs 3K.
Yeah. He built the Aether Wisp.
Nope, he stopped with that. He just got upgraded Sweeper, I believe, maybe some elixirs, and just got the move speed.
All right. He's a speedy Ziggs.
Those are all parts of Lichbane anyway, so it's not like... All right, I mean, move speed makes sense.
It does.
Ziggs wants to kite. 4.5 items coming into effect here.
Absolutely. First time I've actually seen this in the observer screen. But I picked it up right away. I was like, that's the Aether Wisp.
Yeah. It wasn't the mana regen CDR item.
Yeah.
That's the Forbidden Idol.
Forbidden Idol?
Yep.
The big game here, though, right here. Cloud9 Tempest trying to close this one out. They already took the 2 outer inhibitors. Going for number 3. A near impossible defense for compLexity.Black. They might be farmed enough to be able to clear the 2 outside waves of super minions, but since it's just 1 Nexus turret standing for them, they can't let the minions get to the Nexus. They need to find a clean initiation, but I don't know if they can. And even if they do, I don't know if they have enough damage to close out Cloud9 Tempest. Incredibly difficult play here for compLexity.
Gigantic wave top right now, and the mid lane wave showing up right now. There's only 1 Nexus turret. C9T wins the fight. They win the game. They are in the LCS promo tournament. They'll fight in the finals tomorrow. Here comes the push. Giant wave towards the Nexus. Yasuki in the front lines. Turret starting to take some damage. Stun on a Bubba Dub. Siege still going. No one's there to defend the Nexus. Lee Sin finally coming back, making that a 4v5.
They got the second Nexus turret.
Nexus down. Shockwave only lands on a 1, but they don't have the full team right here. coL getting a scattering of damage down, but not necessarily going to be enough. West Rice just clearing the minions away, but next wave, mid and hib could fall.
Yeah, well, bottom and hip did come back up. So they now have to rotate back around and finish this one off. Just one little tiny thread holding complexity in this game. Shockwave is actually down. Cloud9 has to respect the initiation.
The initiation comes in. Glebe Weber knocked up in the air multiple times. It's going to be Broken Shard in the front lines. Big Ziggs ulti comes across. Westrice now in the front. It's going to be the kill now onto Bubba Dub.
They might just charge the Nexus and try to finish it down. It is exposed.
They might just get to the damage coming through. Probably force a disengage with Flash. Another kill coming across. This could very much be the game for Cloud9 Tempest, closing out the series 2-1. Kills starting to fly in more and more, and there's no chance now compLexity.Black going to be falling over. Westrice doing his best. Robert actually trying as well, but I think there's too many minions. Down goes the Nexus, and Cloud9 Tempest take the series.